what is the use of throw and throws keyword? See, it is same as suppose you are going to some restaurant, okay, and you ordered a food and you are getting some problem, okay, and you will call the waiter. The waiter, let's say, cannot handle the problem. Okay, let's say you have ordered something which you are not liking and you want to replace it, and suppose waiter is not being able to handle this problem. What the waiter will do here, he will call, let's say, the supervisor. Now the supervisor is also, let's say, it is a expensive dish, so supervisor is also not being able to handle this problem. So what supervisor will do, supervisor will throw this problem to manager. Understand? So now manager will come and manager will do something, and let's say manager will handle the problem. So the same thing happens here with throw and throws keyword. Okay, throws means you are just throwing the problem, because mainly what happens, see, when developers are working, they are writing some code, they are writing business logic. So at that point, they are not in a mood to handle the exception. Okay, so they simply throw the exception that, okay, fine, we are throwing it right now, we will handle it later. Okay, so let's say there is a specific coder who is only handling the exceptions. That type of things also happens in the projects. So that's why this throws keyword is there. So let's say I have a method public void test, and this throws a exception. See, again in throws you can use any exception. Either you can use the superclass, it will throw all the exceptions, or you can use child class, which will throw the specific type of exception, like runtime exception, arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, any exception. Okay, now here, suppose I want to convert a string into an integer. Okay, I want to show you one special type of error. Okay, let's say string num is there is equal to uh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but it is a string. See, in string also we can give numbers, but we cannot use them for arithmetic operators. Say for arithmetic operations. Let's say I want to save the phone number. Then obviously I don't want to do any arithmetic operations with phone number, no? So I can save them as string. So that we can do. But suppose I want to convert it into an integer and I want to do some arithmetic operation with them. So let's say I will say integer I is equal to, I will use the wrapper class integer dot, there is a method as parse int. It will convert a string into an integer. Okay, so I will pass it the number which is num, and I will convert it into an integer and I will print it. Okay, let's say I will print I. Now in the main function, what I will do, I will simply create object of this class. Let's say I will create an object. Exception demo2. Let's say demo2 is equal to new exception demo2. Okay, and I will call the test function. Okay, see what will happen now. It will not let me work with this code until and unless I don't throw the exception once again in main. Okay, because here in the test function it is throwing an exception. So either you will have to handle this exception or you will have to throw it again. Otherwise, it will not let you work. So right now, let's say I'm not handling it, I'm simply throwing it. And I will execute this code. Okay, and I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not getting any exception or anything because right now everything is fine. Okay, so I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also a good example of how to convert a string into integer. Now, suppose here I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of that, I have A, B, C, D. Now, can I convert A, B, C, D into a number? That's a problem. Okay, let's try. Let's say I try to do it. What will happen? Immediately I will get exception. What exception I will get? It will give me number format exception. See, number format exception. Again, it is a runtime exception. So it is also a very, very important point, okay, that when we get the number format exception. So a number format exception you will get when you will try to convert a string into a number, but which is not possible. Like A, B, C, D, how we will convert it? Again, you will say we can convert it to ASCII values and we can, but it is not one single character, no, it is the entire string and it is a number format exception. Now, if you see, this exception is not handled anywhere. It is just thrown. Okay, it is not handled. Suppose after calling this method, if I write here, after exception, or you can say after handling exception, anything. Okay. Obviously, you will not get that because the exception is not handled. Okay, so that is the thing. That's what I'm saying. Throws is just to throw the exception. It will not handle it. The handling will happen only in catch block. So suppose if I want to handle the exception, then what I will do? It is same as suppose even manager is also throwing the problem in the restaurant. Manager is also not handling. Manager is also saying no, 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 we can't do anything. So here main is nothing but if it is not handled in main, then what? So that's why let's say we will handle it in main. So we will say surround with try catch and it will go in a try catch block, and whatever exception is coming, it will print it, and after that it will print the after exception. See, e dot print stack trace, it is a method in exception class which we can directly call it. This method will print the exception, whatever exception is there. So since we are dealing with exception class, so no matter which exception is there, it will be handled. Okay, so I will execute it and you will see it will once again it will print the exception, and after that it will print the after exception. If you can see, means your code is not breaking, you are getting after exception. Now you must be thinking, oh, we are not getting one line of exception here, so much big exception, because here the integer wrapper class is also involved. That's why it is not like we are having exception only in our class. Now integer class is also having some problem if you try to do this. That's why such a big exception. If you don't want to print such a big exception, you want to print some custom message, that also you can do. Just comment this print stack trace and here simply print some custom message. Let's say this is number format exception. Okay, so simple. It will print this is number format exception, and after that it will print after exception, means your exception is handled. So that is how you deal with this throws exception. Means we are not actually handling the exception here itself where it is coming. Rather, we are handling this exception in the main function where we are calling this function. So this function is doing what? This function is simply throwing the exception, and it is handled in the here where it is called.